Ladies and gentlemen, live from Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977 is Wednesday or Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for AEW Dynamite or Collision Event Center. And now here's the man that will bring you the happenings of AEW All Elite Wrestling action, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans, 1977, episode number 2124. That's right. I'll tell you one thing, I have a lot of, subscribers. I'm very blessed to do this great channel for all of you. There's a lot of folks out there. You guys are entertained. Friends, family, relatives, and whatnot watch my videos. They always tell me, hey, we watch your videos, man. They ask me what, I try to tell them about my YouTube show, what's it called, and everything else. So I'm very, very pleased as punch that people acquire about my channel and, and everything else. So I do appreciate it. People ask me, where did you get to find the games and all that? And I'm really excited. So, yeah, I'm totally excited. Like I said, the Flashpoint app and all that good stuff is where I find my bonus round games and good stuff. And just always have a smile on my face to see when people ask me about my channel, how's it doing. Of course, there's some haters out there like to troll on my channel and disrespect me and all. You know what? That's okay, man, because the fact of the matter is Lima don't play that. You know what I mean? And speaking of which, that will be coming soon. That segment will be coming soon. And I'm looking forward to doing it because we need some more comedy. Also, I forgot to mention another segment on the last episode when I did this for WWE Evolve, is that I know a lot of people have been talking about movies. Movies. Would it be Bofas? Would it be Popcorn Panel? And sometimes Rant and Rave. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get a list of all the movies I've seen in my 30 years since working on the job, at a job, since 1995, and I have decided to talk about these movies, and so they'll be called Real Shenanigans on Film, ladies and gentlemen, and real as in R-E-E-L, movie reels on film, Real Shenanigans on Film. And I wanted to call it that because that's what. So get into my mind of what I think about the movies I've seen, I've watched, and everything else. I'm going to try to gather. I do have movie ticket stubs somewhere. I don't know where I put them, but I know I put them somewhere. So I wanted to gather them all together, so that way we can. I can talk about them and whatnot and everything else. So. And once I do find them, they're going to be put up, and I'm going to be really excited about it. So, look forward to it. Look forward to it, guys. Okay, where movies I've seen from when it was AMC, before it was AMC, it was Cinema 8, Cinema 12. It was General Cinema, AMC, Flagship Cinema, Cinema 140, and Regal Cinemas, and Hoyt Cinemas. Hoyt Cinemas, that's right. Hoyt Cinemas. I remember that. So, we'll see. We shall see what happens. You know what I mean? It's really a lot of fun. So, hopefully you look forward to it. Once I get the thumbnails, intros all set, expect those episodes to come out soon. Be excited. Look forward, and just rock and roll with it. Okay. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite. By the way, speaking of which, and the main event is the ThunderStorm's back together for just one night only, as they face the team of Megan Bayne, who freaking needs to go back to Etheria. A little bit more on Megan Bayne, okay? But we'll start out with Kenny Omega, the new international champion, it was a non-title match against Blake Christian. Omega won the match with a one-winged angel, and then Omega decided to address his opponents, Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey. So Speedball Mike Bailey comes out and says, listen, I admire you and I respect you as a person, as a wrestler, but when comes bell time, I'm going to do whatever it takes to take that title off you. So Kenny Omega goes, fine, I like that. And then they call out Ricochet, but Ricochet says, too bad he can't be there, because Ricochet got married. Congratulations to Ricochet and Samantha Urban finally got married. So that means since Samantha Urban's married Ricochet is a New Bedford-in-law, so to speak. A New Bedford son-in-law. Son-in-law of New Bedford. Since Samantha Urban, or Samantha Johnson in real life, isn't her name. Man, excuse me. Man, every time the weather changes, you end up catching a cold. I don't know if the pollen's active or what, but it sucks. Anyways, and Ricochet was all dressed up for his wedding, and he basically says that he'll take the title. So, I'll tell you what, Ricochet getting married, about time that boy settled down. I mean, let's see, he tried dating Tessa Blanchard. That didn't work out. I know he was motivated by Trina Michaels. That didn't work out. He dated Katana Chance for a while. That didn't work out. He finally settled for Samantha Johnson, Samantha Urban, the ring announcer from the WWE at one point. And now he's married to her. You know what? Ricochet better be good. You better be good to Samantha Johnson. Or Ricochet, you're going to make an enemy out of everybody in New Bedford, man, including their family. Now I'm sure Ricochet and Samantha Johnson will live happily ever after. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. Sometimes these marriages don't work out as well. So Chris Jericho was pretty ticked off about how Bandito embarrassed him, and he told Big Bill and Brian Keith to prove to him that they belong in the learning tree. So he said to go and Chris Jericho goes, "Not your brother's mask I want yours. So I'll tell you what, I'll put the title up, you put your mask up." All you do is, you lose the mask, you can still be a bandit, you know what I mean? The Bandito is bandit in Spanish. So if you think about it, I think Chris Jericho will try to strike it rich. See what I did there? If you're game show fans, will probably get that joke. So anyways, so that's the deal. Dynasty, Ring of Honor World Title, not MJF, Jericho, Bandito, Mask versus Championship. We'll find out what happens there. And speaking of MJF, it addresses the offer of MVP. And MVP comes out to hear it out, and MJF was willing to do business with him until Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin came out. Bobby Lashley says, "I want to see the card," and tears it up. It seems like Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin do not trust MJF. There's going to be a little tension there, so MJF wants to know what the heck is going on. MVP says, "Well, cool, we'll talk about it." So, while the Hurt Syndicate leaves, the Learning Tree has challenged him to a tag team title match, and the Hurt Syndicate kind of laughed it off. Renee Paquette interviewed Tony Storm and Thunder Rosa, who and Thunder Rosa goes, "The last time we met in the ring," and she's trying to bring up the past, but Tony Storm wants to forget it and just let bygones be bygones. So, yep, I'm going to pull the shirt out. Here it is, my girl, Timeless Tony Storm. There it is. Timeless Tony Storm. Check out my 99th edition of Virtual Purchase Acquisition. Yep, Timeless One, Timeless Tony Storm. Timeless forever. And so he goes, and they concluded with this, and this is what Thunder Rosa said. He said, you two are going to be in the ring, Penelope Ford and Megan Bank. You two are in the ring with the team of ThunderStorm. And then Tony Storm yells out, "Thunder Tits." What? What? Tony Storm, you don't have them big. He's like, what? We'll call it ThunderStorm. I changed it. Tony Storm, that woman has no filter whatsoever. So, anyways, Brody King went one-on-one with Kyle Fletcher, and Mark Davis and Don Callis got involved during that matchup, and looks like the former United Empire did help pick a victory over Brody King. And then the former United Empire decided to attack King after the matchup, but then Powerhouse Hobbs goes out and takes out Fletcher and Davis, and then they had their matchup after the referees decided to separate them for a bit. And Dallas Cowboys joined on commentary. Hobbs did pick up the victory over Mark Davis. They let you there interview Nick Wayne, Shayna Wayne, and Kip Sabian, which Nick Wayne did the talking and said, well, I'm beginning to get it, but this is how you properly execute a plan. When Nick Wayne cost Cope the AEW World title against Jon Moxley. And then Renee Paquette interviewed Adam Page, who says you're going to enter the Owen Hart tournament. And Swerve Strickland was not very happy with that. And like, Swerve, focus on Moxley first. When you beat Moxley, then you can worry about the Owen Hart tournament. So, and then Tony Schiavone had a sit-down interview with Rated FTR, and it shocked that, Rated FTR at the end decided to challenge the Death Riders for the Trios Championships at Dynasty. So Strickland did come out and called out Jon Moxley. Moxley comes out and to confront Strickland, and Moxley did respond, saying, people like you give me hope, because this company's run by billionaires and all that. He don't like Tony Khan. He don't like Vince McMahon. Don't worry, Vince is no longer in charge of WWE, Mox. You can go back there anytime you want. I'm sure Triple H would love to have you back. But right now, you're in AEW, you're their champion. And then Claudio Castagnoli stands behind Prince Nana, and Swerve Strickland backs off a little bit. And, he knows if he wants to fall smooth, Prince Nana could get hurt. Maria Shafir comes out with a crowbar when both men switch positions in the ring. And then Will Nightingale came out with a lead pipe. And then afterwards, after all that, as the Death Riders leave the ring, Maria Shafir came back to attack Nightingale, and Claudio and Nana restrained both ladies, or tried to anyways. And Samoa Joe was talking to Hook while Katsuyori Shibata was manning a camera, commandeering a camera, and he goes, why'd you attack Max Caster? It was cool, fun, and all right, well. And then they saw Max Caster talking to AR Fox at Top Flight, running his mouth again. And then Samoa Joe puts him to sleep. And then they gave AR Fox and Top Flight their props. And then they said, yeah, right, it's a little fun. It was a little fun. And I think Hook said something again. And then Katsuyori Shibata through Google Translate, I see what you did there. So, the Ops are a very entertaining trio. So watch your backs there, FTR and Death Riders. Meanwhile, Platinum Max Caster, or as I call him, Platinum Max Bastard. Dude, stop running your mouth, because you're going to get beat up or choked out in your case. And in Samoa Joe's case, you're going to get choked out, and Joe just killed you. Platinum Max Bastard or Platinum Max Caster never learns. That boy never learns. If he was in the WWE, he could have a Slammy award for a Run DMC award. You talk too much, and boy, you never shut up. Yo, word to your mother. A little Vanilla Ice reference there for you people. You're white. Why are you rapping? I'm not good at rap, to be totally honest, but I try to do the best I can, Anyways, Renee Paquette interviewed Jay White, and Jay White says that he wants to be part of the Owen Hart tournament. If anybody doesn't believe him, he's issuing an open challenge for a Collision. And that is answered by Kevin Knight. And then Top Flight took on Devo Knight, I don't know if he's related to Kevin Knight, and Alan Findley, Findley, no Finley, just Findley. The crew was talking smack to Top Flight before the match, and they were sitting around, taunting Top Flight and whatnot. And they were in Minneapolis, Minnesota, their hometown, and Top Flight did pick up the victory over Knight and Findley. And then the crew, that's Action Andretti and Leo Rush, continue to talk smack to Top Flight and AR Fox. So, and then during that matchup, though, Big Bill and Brian Keith were watching the match in the back, and they'll be taking on Top Flight at Collision this Saturday. Meanwhile, the Death Riders, before that, Mark Briscoe took on Konosuke Takeshita, and once again, Don Callis joined on commentary, gets involved in the match. In the end, Takeshita ended up winning a great matchup between the master of redneck kung fu. Challenge us, we challenge you. We challenge you to survive. Then Alicia, too, tried to interview the Hurt Syndicate, but then Lashley and Benjamin said, hey, what's up with MJF? We don't like him. We don't trust him. And he says, hey, just leave it to me. Everything's cool. Business. I don't take a day off. Keep doing business, making money. And I said, fine. What about this big bill situation? I said, we got it. So a little tension. And then the main event, Thunder Rosa and the 4-time AEW Women's Champion, timeless Toni Storm, took on the team of Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. Heck of a matchup until the end. Megan Bayne overpowered Toni Storm and hit the face descent. And 1, 2, 3, Megan Bayne picks up the win for her team. And here's the interesting part. I'm hoping Toni Storm wins against Megan Bayne on Saturday, on Sunday. Because if that's the case, I am hoping that Toni Storm sends Megan Bayne back to a freaking Etheria where she can join Glimmer, Queen Angela, and the rest of the Princesses of Power to battle Hordak and the Horde. Friggin' Megan Bayne all friggin' look like She-Ra when she comes out. But my girl Toni Storm will be the victory in the end. Will be the victor at Dynasty. There's no doubt. All right, some news that came out of AEW. Saraya has decided to part ways with AEW. So do a mutual consent. So there's that. So one woman from the women's division has left, and another woman is going to enter the AEW women's division. It has been announced officially that Mina Shirakawa is going to be leaving Stardom and will be heading to the States to join AEW. She wanted to join AEW, and she says she wants to even things up with Mercedes Moné, run it back with her. And that could be she could be Mercedes Moné's next challenger for the TBS Championship. If she signed on with AEW, a lot of people love her already. And I know some people say, she'll sign with NXT and all that good stuff. But we don't know who will show up for Stand and Deliver. We'll find out for sure. All I know is the NXT Women's Division is kind of stacked right now, so I don't think they need Mina Shirakawa. I love to see Mina Shirakawa in the WWE, but right now, Mina was over for a lot of people in AEW, and she's going to go there. I know she says Asuka is her hero, and I'm sure one of these days she'll go to AEW if Tony Khan plays to the WWE, if Tony Khan screws up on this deal. So that's the thing. That's the only way I think Mina Shirakawa will go to the WWE if Tony Khan screws up this deal. And so, that's all I got to say on that matter. So Saraya out of AEW, Mina Shirakawa in. I'm really excited about that. And will Saraya come back to the WWE's page and elevate the women's event? I think she probably realizes there's more women's championships, and I'm sure Paige will probably, a.k.a. Saraya, will probably pick up on that, and we'll see what happens. I know she's got a book out. She'll probably promote her book a little bit. Who knows? So we shall see what happens there. I'm not, putting the cart before the horse or anything. Who knows? So that's all the time we have on this episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977, episode 2124. Tomorrow we got Pressure Luck. We got TNA Event Center. We got also TNA. They fired Gail Kim. A lot of people saying that's a big mistake on TNA's part. Let's see what happens. And will she go back to the WWE? People about she burned the bridge there. Things are different in the WWE. Vince is no longer the man in charge. So I'm sure Gail Kim could consider that one, or she'll consider going to AEW. Who knows? We'll see what happens there. So that's it. Like I said, tomorrow also Rant and Ray, Brandon Martin, channel at 8 o'clock. And the Red Sox and Rangers, I'll probably going to talk about that on my Big BBE's Boston Ballers beat. Also, Alex Core did announce that Devers will be DHing, Bregman will be the third baseman. So, That's all there is to it. So I'll see you guys later. Have a good night, everybody. Until next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home.
That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and Do It for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.